Hey there, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising, it's Maggie. Welcome to the membership portal. This is your Love and Soul Path reading for February 2022. I want to thank you so much for being a member, for supporting me. Are you enjoying my crazy hair as much as I am? My hair was one of the things that helped me to understand that I definitely had something wrong. Like my hair was acting so weird. So that's one of the things that led me to understanding that I have toxic hepatitis. So, all right. Good news is it is definitely clearing up. So we're going to take a look at your love reading here for singles, coupled, singles and looking, couples, and those are single and are just fine with it. I mean, if you hear banging in the hallway, apparently someone's trying to get into the neighbor's house. Okay, so, ooh, singles and looking, the union card. So, chances are good you're going to meet somebody that you make a strong connection with. And this month, you had at the center of your spread the Six of Cups, which is that soulmate connection. And the energy to lean into was that of the lovers. And you also had the energy of the Emperor and the Empress showing up here. And at the subconscious level was the Four of Wands. So those of you who are single and looking, you look like you're in a really good space to maybe get somewhere with it. Those of you who are coupled, we have the Ice Queen. This means that communication is not really happening the way it should be happening. And I think it's that you need to speak up and speak your truth, right? Be the change. Be the tower. Speak up. Put it out there. You have this Divine Empress energy and the Divine Emperor energy, but the Divine Emperor, remember, was breaking the way things have been in order to create something new. And so so often our feelings get hurt. You know, I'm strong Cancer in a lot of ways, right? 4 placements. We put up with a lot, but it hurts. Like, we don't necessarily tell anybody. And so we withdraw and we pull that energy in. And so when you're a water sign and you pull your energy in and you're not sharing it, it freezes it like ice. And so I think there's a need to kind of melt a little bit and express, you know, what it is that you need and want and desire in a relationship in order for there to be a chance. Remember, you're the Knight of Wands. This Wands energy, this intensity, this fired up energy will melt the ice and it will create more flow in your relationship. If you are single and not looking, you have a very creative project going on. We have the children. But the children, to me, in this particular case, I looked at it as like, wow, you got some creative stuff going on that you're nurturing. You could be a school teacher or, you know, hanging out with your nieces and nephews, of course. But it feels more like the energy of you have some very creative projects, because remember, we have the Empress on your mind. And you're all fired up with something very creative energy moving forward and being really focused like the rat there. So I feel like you just keep focusing on your creative projects and pour that energy into it, this fiery energy. You have 2 aces on the table, everybody, and you have the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine of the Emperor and the Empress. Okay, so this union card comes with the Sword and the Rose. Clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, humor, protection, and power. There's going to be a real need. Remember, we have, like, this Ice Queen is very much this Queen of Swords that we had show up. There is a necessity to establish safe, healthy boundaries in a relationship that you're getting into by speaking your truth. Your truth is super important, because if you're not honest and authentic about who you are and you show up as sweet as pie and nothing ever bothers me and whatever you want to do is just fine and I'm not throwing stones, I'm telling you what I've done. And then life happens and all of a sudden you speak up and you speak your mind, they freak out. They're like, who the hell are you? We don't know who you are. And it's true because you weren't being authentic from the get-go. So kindness and compassion, gentleness, yes, definitely listening, but there's two parts of communication. It's the sender and the receiver. And in order for it to be really good communication, it needs to be the sender and the receiver and the sender and the receiver. It needs to communicate around in a circle in order to have really great communication. And so being very clear with what you're saying, Mercury is direct on the 4th. So I was recording this on the 1st. So in a couple days, Mercury is direct, but doesn't get out of shadow until the 24th, and actually all the way through the 9th. It's not really moving. And so it's really slow on the communication. So clarity. If you don't understand something, ask for a clarification, and also ask, so this is what I was thinking. What are your questions? What are your thoughts? Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, drill down a little, get a little more information. Cancers seem to, Ray, we kind of sidestep, like, God, I used to do this so much. I used to think, well, they'll understand, they'll get the hint. So I'll like kind of suggest something, but I'll be self-deprecating about it. I thought maybe this would be okay, but I don't know if it's a great idea. No, it's a great idea. Here's what I think. But it might not work for you. So are there any parts of this that work for you? And what are your thoughts? And how can we create something that we both think is a great idea together? The Ice Queen, those of you that are coupled, we have the camera. And I feel like you're hanging on to anger, resentment, irritations, things, past arguments, and there's a need to clear the air and to let them go. You have the camera, which is about your perception. It's about learning from the past. But this feels more like it's frozen. Something that's happened is still bugging the crap out of you, and there's a need to let it out there. Not like a dam breaking, but more like a thaw, the spring thaw, where you find the opportunity and you say something along the lines of, I know I've been kind of distant and remote, and I've been working through some stuff, and I'd like to share with you what I'm working through. Don't say, hey, we need to talk. That just, when you hear that, you're just like, oh my God. I got a text message from my sister recently, and it said, we need to talk. Can I give you a call? And I'm like, oh God, what did I do to piss her off? And I hadn't done anything to piss her off. It had nothing to do with me. She wanted to share something that was going on in her life. But there's that immediate reaction to that. So we need to learn to not use that phraseology, right? So it's like, I've been working through some stuff and I have some thoughts, and I'd kind of like to share them with you and get your insight and your input on this. But at the same time, even though it's a softer approach, you got to know what your truth is and don't back down from it. Don't let yourself be run over. Those of you that are single and you have these creative projects going on, it says take a chance. It's a risk. So be strategic. And remember, you had the Fool in the opportunity coming in, which is that take a risk card. And being strategic, the Queen of Swords, and not showing your hand. So not necessarily letting it all out there yet. Something needs time to develop. Something needs time to grow. It needs nurturing. It needs the Cancer nurturing energy. But this looks super interesting, whatever it is that you're working on. Let's get a little bit more here. Okay, wow. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that was totally not what I was going for. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to do single and not looking because you got the creativity card. So this is definitely some kind of a creative project. Use creativity to transform your pain into positivity. So it could be that you're working through something, maybe a recent breakup, maybe just whatever. It's Amazonite. It is a very green blue stone, so it is higher heart healing. It is also, though, in this area of the heart where we connect our creativity with our third eye, this downloads and insights that come in. It's a very creative energy right there, that is your truth. It is something that is authentic and true to you that you are creating. So it's using your throat chakra, and the throat chakra, again, the Queen of Swords. Speaking out, speaking plainly, but doing it through a very creative manner. There's something you're creating that looks amazing. There's a ton of cards. We're going to get to the couples here in a second. Solar plexus, abundance, the citrine. For those of you, look, I want you to see how much yellow solar plexus energy there is here. And you have the citrine, which is very much the same color. The world is abundant when you choose to see it that way. So be really authentic, be really truthful about who you are, but there looks like if you're looking, there looks like there's somebody coming in, and we do have Venus and Mars chasing each other for like the next month and a half or so. Mars is catching up with Venus right now, and then by the end of February, Venus gets a little faster and she passes Mars. But so there's this flirtatious, this playing, this divine masculine, feminine energy coming together. So it's really sweet for you. Okay, those of you who are coupled, you have divinity, recognize the divine in the mirror. Blue lace agate. There's nothing wrong with you. There's actually nothing wrong with anybody. We're all just playing roles and playing parts. We're divine, having a human experience. We came here to learn, to grow, to help one another. Sometimes we help them by being the nasty little wench in their lives, and sometimes we help because we're the loving, caring person. And it doesn't matter, because we made these plans before we incarnated. They're just roles. Shakespeare was right when he said, life is just a stage and we are all actors on which we play, or something like that. Just weird because I don't actually know the quote. Okay, so that might actually be right. Don't know who said that. Okay, so you're just playing a role, you're playing a part in someone else's life, and they are in yours. At the same time, you're truly authentically divine, and you are truly and authentically growing and learning, and this is a soul thing that you're going through. So Cancer, one of the missions of Cancer is to learn to nurture self and others in an equal and balanced way. And so you have security. So the thing about Cancer is it is a water sign, but yet the little feet running around on the ground, right? It's earth and water. And so there's this need to be connected, to be grounded, to feel safe and secure. The shell, right? We all get into the shell. There's a need to feel safe and secure. To feel more secure, deepen your connection with nature, it says. But I want to say, since this is a love reading, deepen your connection with your partner. Have these conversations using that, not blaming, not shaming, and not accepting all of the guilt onto yourself either. It is, I've been doing some soul searching. I've been working through some stuff. I've been thinking about some things. Here's what I'm coming up with. I'd like to get your input on it, and let's see if we can't figure something out together. Because you have love is a verb. I didn't even know this card was in here. This is how I feel about love. I think love is a verb. It is an action word. We love ourselves. We show that by taking care of ourselves and nurturing ourselves. We show it to others by taking care of and nurturing them. Love is a verb. Love is a verb, so make the most of your treasured action. This is rhodonite. Rhodonite is this, I don't see mine right here, but it's a beautiful pink with black lines through it. And so it is the heart chakra color of the romantic love where we share with each other. And the black is the understanding that there is shadow and light in all of us. And so there's shadows in you and there's shadows in your partner. And actually this mirror card, this divinity, recognize the divinity in the mirror. The mirror is also your partner. So recognizing the divine in them being reflected back to you. So it's not just the divinity in your own mirror, then you're looking in the mirror, but also your partner is your mirror. And so understanding and putting that together and loving all the bits and the pieces and the parts of each of you, understanding that you're here to learn to grow together. And so this actually looks really positive. It feels like you can totally work through this. Whatever this is, there is a necessity to have conversation that is loving and caring and kind. And if your partner is incapable of returning that kind of a conversation, then that is another conversation that you need to have with yourself about what your next steps are. But for those of you who are single and looking, looks good. For those of you who are working on a creative project, that looks amazing. And I just see a lot of hope for the couples. I see opportunity here to really have this connection. Mercury is moving direct on the 4th. So conversation, be out of storm. There is an opportunity to really, when Venus and Mars connect on the 16th, where they're in actual conjunction with each other in Capricorn, they're at about, I want to say like 25 degrees. I don't have my thing with me. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Let's see where this is. What degree point? It's in Capricorn when they conjunct. On the 16th. So, on the 16th, at 16 degrees. I should be able to remember that. Okay, at 16 degrees of Capricorn. They are just barely going to be in conjunction with Pluto. Pluto is sitting at 20, no, so they're really not. So this is a conversation that they are having with themselves. Where's Mars? Mercury, I mean. Mercury is out of the, so this is just Venus and Mars having a conversation. There's no real interference from Pluto or from really any of the asteroids that are going on in there. So this is a very safe environment in which to have a conversation. So take advantage of that opportunity. So Valentine's weekend, show your love. That may not be the time you have the actual conversation. Maybe you show the love first so that you can have the conversation in an environment that is softened and ready for it. So, okay, so soul path for everybody. We have failure and patience. And I just heard try again. So consistency, persistence, that's how we get things done, right? We stay focused on our goals. We keep working toward them. So the thing about patience and failure, okay, they're showing me Thomas Edison. What was it? He made like 100 light bulbs before he found one that worked. There's nothing wrong with the idea. There was just the how. And so patience is having patience for the process, and failure just means that's one way that you know it doesn't work. So if the way you've been communicating, if the way you've been working on this creative project, you know, whatever it is, if the way you've approached relationships before that ends up like not working, then that thing is in any aspect of your life. So whether it's career, home, family, love, whatever, right? If you find yourself doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working, well, you know, Einstein already told us that's insanity. So, so say, okay, I just learned that doesn't work. I'm going to try something else. And I love that I'm talking to Cancer about this because I bet you get this. Because my friends do not understand this about me. I have, so Cancer is an initiating sign, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. So if you have those strong in your chart, they're also initiating signs. I'm a Capricorn rising and a Cancer like everything else, right? So here's my thing. I go running at a project full tilt, and I'll hit a brick wall and go, "Whoa, that didn't work. Ouch." And then like, okay, I want to try this. And I take off in another direction. And I have a lot of Taurus friends. There's very stuck energy, right? Or Scorpio friends, very stuck energy. And they look at me and they're like, what are you doing? Like, shouldn't you think that thing through before you do it? And I'm like, well, no, this way it's faster. I figure out it doesn't work and then I move on. I don't waste my time, which it may or may not be a waste of time, but I don't spend a lot of time analyzing what is the best way forward. However, over time, you're like, oh, wait, I've seen that before. I know that doesn't work. And so you figure not to do the same thing again and you try something new. When I used to apply for jobs on a regular basis, I love being self-employed because I don't have to do this anymore. But one of the things I used to always share with my potential employers, which is probably why I never took a job interview that I did not get the job. That's a true story. Anytime I interviewed for the job, I got the job. One exception, I didn't want that job, but my sisters wanted me to go interview for it, so that doesn't count. Anytime I wanted a job and I went in there to interview for the job, I got it. And one of the things I always said is I make a lot of mistakes, but I don't make the same one twice. So failure is just a growth experience. Failure is a label that people put on things that doesn't belong there. We are here in Earth School to learn things. So no matter what you do, there is a need to, when you say, oh, that doesn't work, to take a step back and look at it and go, why didn't that work? But not let that keep you from trying something new, but also not continuing to do the same thing because you will, again, net the same results. So have patience with the process. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Oh, by the way, patience. That is a theme that Spirit has been saying for so long, everywhere I turn. Patience, 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 patience. And patience is something that has to be cultivated. Unless you're an earth sign. So patience. One of the gifts of studying astrology for me has been then I can take a higher vantage point, look at it from a different point of view, and I can see the cycles and how they line up. And that has made it so much easier for me to be patient with so many things in life. So again, I want to invite you to check out the chart calculator. It's not in this description box, but it's in the description box of any of my videos on YouTube. The more you understand your chart, the better you're going to do with this. And I invite you, I will do a chart reading for you. I will help you to understand some of the cycles. Particularly, I like to look at the cycles over the course of the next 3 years so you can kind of get a long range view and make some plans. So that's something that I do. I mean, I want to invite you to understand there's a cyclical nature to everything and things actually happen in divine timing. And I had an experience, 1998, I was on a retreat. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it culminated with me being really frustrated and really angry. And I heard this voice out loud. Seriously, the whole room was booming with it. I don't think if I hadn't been alone, I think others would have heard it. It was totally out loud, and I believe it was Metatron. And it said, be patient. I will let you know. Well, okay. And it was almost 20 years before they let me know. So what we think of as immediate, the divine's like, yeah, things are not lined up for that. In 18 years, by the way, that actually lines up with the North Node cycles. That's why I had to wait a whole cycle for the North Node to get back into Cancer, which is where my North Node is and where my Sun is and everything for me to be able, yeah, so there you go. So sometimes, hopefully, whatever you're trying to do does not take you 18 years to get there, but along the way, there were a lot of lessons and a lot of growth, and that opportunity is open to you. Failure is, they just said failure is not an option. That's because there's no such thing as failure. It's not actually a thing. It's a, oh, wait, that didn't work. So that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. So what will work? And if you can look at it as a adventure and an opportunity to learn and grow in wisdom and in knowledge, then all it is a learning curve, which is not failure. If you're learning and growing, you're not a failure. I think the closest thing to failure, in my opinion, and this would not be Spirit's opinion, this is totally Maggie speaking here, is when you stop trying. Because if you stop trying, then you don't need to be dealing with it anymore. Like, where's the learning and where's the growth? Those of you who are coupled, well, actually, if you're single and looking and you're trying to get into a relationship, if you're looking to create something, if you're looking to regenerate something, you have the protection guardian, which says to drop your shield. Crabby, crabby, crabby Cancers, right? We are so protective of ourselves. This is a month to be a little more vulnerable, to be a little more open, to take the risk to open up. Because if we do, we get the sun. This beautiful solar plexus energy here. Enjoy success and happiness by being open and vulnerable and sharing in a soft, feminine way. Whether you're male or female, femininity is just, it's not attacking, it's receiving care from the other person, giving them the opportunity to share and give also, to create that balance. That's where the success comes in. So whether you're trying to promote an idea or nurture something, put it out there. And hey, again, so say you are working on a project and you show somebody the project. And I really want to advise you that when you show it to someone, you show it to an expert, that you don't talk to your family. Or your see, here's the thing. When something is half-baked and it's not ready to be presented, you would never present something to an expert that wasn't ready to be presented, even if it's not at the final stages, but it's ready to be presented. Like submitting a work to your editor or something like that. That's cool, that's fine. Their job is to just look at the project. But when you have an idea and you share it with your family, you're allowing them the opportunity to attach negative energy when they go, I don't know, can you really do that? I have a friend who tells me all the time, you can't be a hero in your own hometown. And it's true. My family, when I try to share with them the things that I see and that I know, they think, why are you sticking your nose in my business? So, okay. I don't, right? Because you can't. So, don't let other people attach their negative input. If you have some creative idea that you're working on, develop it to the point where you can take it to somebody that can look at it and give you constructive feedback. They can say, this part's good, this part needs some work. If you rearrange things this way, allow that to happen for yourself. Give yourself the gift of space. Look at this. You guys are sprouting. We have the sanctuary. I am divinely guided and gently and lovingly. This is that divine timing, the having the patience, but you are emerging. You are emerging. I am emerging into light with joy and ease, coming out into the sunlight. That north node that went through your sign in 2018, 19 and 20, that was taking down a lot of things, breaking some barriers and helping you to figure out where to go next. And then the next year and a half while it was in Gemini was the integration period. And so that was where you were being held and nurtured and integrating all the information, the guidance you have. And now it is time to start to step out into the sun and to create what you want, whether it's a relationship, a project, a new job, if you want to manifest a new living situation, whatever it is. Now is the time. But don't be afraid of the no's. When I used to sell Party Light, and one of the things they taught us was, some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? It's not failure. It's just every no gets you closer to the yes. So don't worry about the word failure. That is a label that we unfortunately attach to things that doesn't actually exist. When they say failure is not an option, they don't understand what they're saying. The reality is failure is not an option. It doesn't exist. All right, you guys, take really good care. Thank you again for supporting the work on this channel. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you have a really amazing month. I'll talk to you soon.